Okay, so this is yours. I just pulled it up on here. When do you just not use Instagram very much, you said?
So I quit Instagram last January, and I literally just stopped using it. I stopped using Instagram and LinkedIn. I have 412 messages
On LinkedIn.
I just was so busy, and you know, I always feel like pick a platform, do it well, right?
Yeah, that's how I feel. I want to use LinkedIn, but I like need to go through all the training. But I love Instagram. Like it's the jam. It's where everything's moving to. You know, it's to me, I look at Facebook as connecting with people I know. I look at Instagram as connecting with people I don't know.
I love that.
Yeah. So, what are your biggest questions, and then I can dive into a bunch with you.
Okay, yeah, and then I don't know. Are you going to record? Are you already recording?
I put it into recording.
Okay, good. I was going to say because I think it would be super helpful for other people. Okay. So, some of my biggest questions. Number one, all the beautiful stories that you shared, how you did like your picture and then, you know, like that. I want to know how to do that.
Okay.
I also don't know about how like the algorithms work with Instagram. Like, should I be commenting on people's stories? And, you know, how do you, like Lindsay Hoffer said, basically date people on Instagram, if you will, and build those relationships. And I just am not quite sure exactly the best way to go about that. So
it's like a longer process, but it's worth it. Okay, so first thing, since we're recording this, first thing, this is amazing. Always have your first name. So if you're coaching your team, make sure take all the fluff out and it's clarity over like cleverness. So if you're ever helping someone and they have like this kind of like random name, always make sure it's your own personal name. This looks great. It's very like clear and concise on exactly what you do, that people, when they go to you, they know exactly what you do. Right here in your highlights, this is where you want to put your core values. So like when you look at Bethanny as a brand and you're like your own personal brand that represents health and wellness, represents networking and entrepreneurship and freedom, what would you say the core values are that if somebody like treat this as like your website or your portfolio? The way I look at my Instagram is I put a lot of stuff on Instagram so that I never have to actually sell in person. And then when I meet people in person, I just say, hey, let's connect on Instagram. And then I make sure then they just like check out my stuff and follow me. And then I start the conversation of reaching back out to them. And so it's like a 10-step process. Awesome. So if someone went to your page, what are the core values that would represent you?
Okay, cool. And I knew that I had to work on that. I just wasn't quite sure what to do.
Yeah, so like my recommendation would be like something.
I could do like one on telomeres, right?
Yep, you could do like anti-aging or telomeres or products.
And then like one on wealth creation. Oh, which could be like my pencil pitch.
Yes.
So I was going to do a pencil pitch into a story anyway.
Yes.
I just didn't do my hair today, so I was like, I'll do it another day.
Do something about like community, because you're so active in networking events in your community. So like something that just represents like your involvement in Arizona.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I could do like my women in leadership.
That's just like shows the core values and the like your community you've built within your team.
Yeah.
Or like leaders, something like that represents like your leaders.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Family, since your family is so important, that people can know the personal side too.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then your top 9 should always tell a story, because when someone pulls up your phone, it's the top 9. These are called tiles. The top 9 tiles should always have some type of consistency for visual aesthetics, so that people are very drawn to it from the visual side. In my training, I showed an example of like, I used to use more dark images and it created a negative feeling. And so I switched to a lot lighter ones. So the feeling is a lot like lighter. So like, they're like, keep in mind you're just starting, but there's no consistency here. Right. So like, look at 3s like a story. So it could be like the 3 across about like residual income, or 3 across with something that you want to teach, or like this one was the training. So it could be 3 about different levels of training or something like that. Or it could just be the color palette, but start to think of visual color palette or aesthetics that would draw people in to be like, I want to learn more about what's happening here, because it keeps people on your page like 10 times longer. You have 20 seconds before they're going to get off your page, so you want to immediately be able to grab their attention.
Okay, so Yeah, like that one of me. I didn't know what I was doing yet. I still could not figure out. I had to call my daughter and say, "Sweetie, how do I add to my story? I can't figure it out." She's like, "Oh, you just swipe right." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, how can I not figure that out?" So yeah, I get that. So I thought the whole aesthetics thing, though, about it all being like the same color palette, kind of changed. Did it not?
You don't need to use heavy filters. So like a lot of like the filters like all the bloggers are using is just kind of, that's what's changing, is people don't want to see that. They want to see like you still. But
Okay.
I mean more like, yeah, just kind of tell like a story of like maybe it's like leader in the spotlight and you do like 3 of your leaders this week. And then next week maybe it's all about your family and it's like your core values that represent your family.
Okay.
Type of consistency. For mine, I'll pull mine up. I do more like audio now. So my consistency is just straight down that I'm always doing one piece of video. So like my whole right side is now all videos. These are all videos that I upload to IGTV and that I always want to be teaching something so that you could do that too. So if they click this, so like with that, your IGTV video has to be longer than 1 minute, but less than 10 minutes. So you can just film that on your phone. And then I create this tile on top with the verbiage on top, just on Canva. And then I upload it to my news feed just the same way to upload any photo. Actually, that's not true. I upload it to IGTV app and it immediately puts it onto your feed.
All right, so IGTV is an app. Okay. So basically I get that app. I create a video that's longer than 1 minute, shorter than 10.
Yep.
You
so IGTV is here. Yeah. So you'll
use Canva, write your words on it,
and it lets you
upload it through the app.
Yeah, you'll upload the video to IGTV and then it'll tell you if you want a cover photo and you can just choose the cover photo that you've created for it. And then they all just save in here. So then it becomes like a stored place for your videos.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So that's
how do you get all of your highlights to be the same cover?
Like these?
No, your little highlight tiles.
Oh yeah, Canva. So yeah, so these are mine. Wellness, mentor, success, love, the movement, lifestyle, business. I created all of this on Canva. If you go under Canva and create like an Insta story and just pick your background, and you can either upload an icon that represents that. So say it was products, you could upload an icon that looks like a shake, or you could just write out the word that you want on there. Then you save all of those to your phone. And then on your phone, you're going to click on the edit highlight reel and you're going to put in the name. It'll say edit cover or edit name or whatever you'll name it. And then click the actual edit cover photo. And it's going to, on the bottom left, it'll have the image icon. Click that. It'll let you choose from your current photos that are in your phone. And it'll have you center it into the circle to place it. And then you'll just press done and create the next one.
Okay, that seems pretty easy.
Choose whatever color you want.
Okay, so when you're using Canva on your phone, not your desktop then?
It depends. Sometimes there's more font
Canva on my phone
online. So a lot of times I'll create them online because it's easier to see it because it's big. And then I just email them to myself. And
okay, that's what I usually do. I just email it to myself. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't translate to the phone app either. Like it'll change the fonts. It's weird.
Okay.
Okay, so
I did find out about Linktree, which I think that was a really, really great. I actually saw Lindsay Hopper's.
Yeah.
And I created mine, and then I went to you, and I'm like, oh, Lauren's got it too.
Yeah. It's nice because you can have so many things going on and direct people to that. So like in your Insta stories, always, or like even in your posts, do a call to action. Like always be like, go back and click the link on my bio to, register for this event. Click the link in my bio to learn more about this. Click the link in my bio to set up a discovery call with me, and then make sure you have like your Calendly link. Do you use Calendly?
I don't anymore, but I used to. But I did see that on yours. I had a couple different ones on mine.
I've had like probably 10 random people click it and set up appointments with me over like.
So my funnel, if you go to mine, it will take you to rebalance yourbody.com, which is my funnel. And my funnel, they set up a 15-minute call with me.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So that's the, which one is it?
I would change the
testimonials.
Okay.
Yeah, only because when you click that, it really is, it looks like more like testimonials.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
And it's a video and
perfect.
Then, yeah, and then so you get your free 15-minute consultation.
Yeah, that's perfect. And then videos.
And then videos is my Ice and Movie site.
Perfect.
And then what else? Oh, and then I have the shop and save, which is basically they can go to my site. Oh, that should not have Ice and Movies slash at the back of it. I need to change that. I need to change that on my GoDaddy.
Yeah, but that's perfect. That's all you need. And anything that's like promoting, or if you have like a Super Saturday, just then add like Super Saturday so they can register right there.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, it's that link tree is awesome.
It's so awesome. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so your Insta stories, let's do your Insta stories. Every day, just kind of be like, okay, what story do I want to tell? So like your pitch one is perfect to be like, okay, how can I educate on this? Like always think of like mixing between educating and entertaining. Like I always just coach people, like if you're going to put up a photo, just make sure in some way you're teaching. So if it's like even a photo of a coffee, like be like, hey, what are you doing in that moment that you can be teaching people what you're doing? So because you want to make sure people are always wanting to come back. So it's like really treating it like look at me versus learn from me. You want to have learn from me content versus look at me content. So it keeps people coming back. Create more than you consume on Instagram. Obviously, these are just little tips you probably already know, but like 80%.
No, I don't.
So like so many people get sucked into consuming for living in other people's lives. So focus on 80% creating content, 20% consuming.
Okay, well that's good because I feel like all I've been doing is creating, and then I'm like, but don't I need to be consuming? Shouldn't I be like going to people's stuff? Like I'm just creating. Like, and this is literally like 2 days I've been doing. Today's day 2, and I'm all excited. I like said to my husband, "Go watch my story."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What kind of workout did you do this morning?" I'm like, "It's on my story."
Yeah. That's how I am every day. I'm like, Chris, what did you think of my stories? He's like, but yeah, so it's like, if you can't get something done in 3 Insta stories, take out the fluff. That was a big one I've learned recently is if your stories are longer than 3, you're going to lose people. So take out, like, just use power words. So the biggest thing too is like, who's your ideal client? And when you can get so solid, clear on that ideal client and the exact words they use and their pain points, their challenges, their desires, like literally I have a list in front of me at all times of power words for who the type of person I want to attract. So then I weave that into my content so that they are on the receiving end feeling like you're talking to them.
Okay.
Always like go back to like the content examples I've done before with like building it like a sandwich, making sure you have that bold statement at the beginning and always have a call to action at the end. For apps, the app I've been using a ton of that I get a lot of feedback on is Mojo, Mojo.
Okay.
It's like $10 a month and 100% worth it. Mojo is the best. Story Art is a really good one. You'll have to download the IGTV app. It'll sync to your Instagram. For filters or like just to adjust lighting, like I don't really use filters, but I'll adjust the lighting. I use Lightroom.
Okay.
Lightroom's super easy. And then you know
L-I-G-H-T?
yeah, like Lightroom, one word. You know how if you were to just go and post on Instagram and you write it as paragraphs, but then you press send, it's going to condense it into one big paragraph. The way to keep it separated is the app called Later, Later. So you can write your content inside Later. You'll upload your photo, you'll write the content, and then you'll post it from Later. It'll sync to your Instagram, and it'll keep everything separated so that it's easy to read for people.
I'm wondering, I'm going to look at one that I did yesterday just to see. Did that one jumble together? I don't even know.
Here, I can pull it up on here.
No, it didn't actually. It's the one where I spoke with Rebecca and the crew.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
All I did was copy and paste it for my Facebook.
Huh, that's good. But if for some reason it does, then you can just use the other one. But that's
Okay.
nice. Maybe
All
they
right.
changed it too recently.
Okay.
On your Insta stories, do you know how, like, if you swipe up, you can add music and the questions and the polls?
Okay, so I don't. I've seen it.
Okay.
I think I've swiped up by accident and all of a sudden music started playing and I was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah,
So,
so
okay.
so if you're adding a Insta story, you swipe up to pick the photo. So just pick any photo, for
Okay.
example, and then swipe up on the photo, and it'll show location. So if you want to tag the location you're at, you can do a mention, you can do hashtag, you can add GIFs. There's a lot of Instagram GIFs, or not Instagram, Isogenics. So you can always add shakers, like anything that you can always just type in a word and see if they have something for it. So if you're like Friday Freedom or something like that, just type it in.
So
See
like
if it comes
today I
up.
did fall. Like I
Yeah.
typed in fall today. So I did find that.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. You can
Got
do
it.
isogenics. Sometimes I'll do like glitter and like add sparkles so that it just like creates more effects. There's so many things you can add to it.
Okay, cool.
Music, then you can add music. Keep in mind though, people, if you're tagging someone else, they can't reshare it if it has music. Unless
Okay.
they use music too on theirs. Um,
Right.
Always tag, like as much as you can, tag everything. So if you go to a coffee shop, tag the coffee shop you're at because you want them to reshare it, because the
Okay.
more people that reshare it, it increases your algorithms and it creates more followers.
Okay.
So like if I do anything related to isogenics too, I will always tag like 10 of my leaders, but then I just shrink it really small so other people can't see that they're tagged on the photo. But that way it's easier for them to share. And this is a big thing I've learned recently is like people that are just building, obviously we know they don't know all this, they don't have the time to create all these stories. So the more that we can just create the fundamental ones and then they can reshare it, it's helping them so much get exposure
Good.
so much faster in less time. So pick like
Okay.
your top 10 people and just tag them and then make sure on there and they're resharing them all.
Okay. That makes sense.
Polls,
Sybil, do you know who Sybil Imel is?
yeah.
Yeah, so she tagged me today and she tagged a whole bunch of us. It was really tiny.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, I wonder what
And
the
then on your
purpose of
end,
this is.
you get the notification and you press add to story and
I
then you add
did.
to your story. Yeah.
Yep.
You want, like, if you want to grow your following, find where your people are, like whoever you want to attract, and just start tagging things that where those people are. So if it's an event, for example, or I don't know, a specific place in Arizona or whatever that is, that you're like, this is where my ideal client lives, start uploading stuff about that and tag it to attract more attention to you.
Okay.
Like gyms, local gyms, that kind of stuff. They'll all reshare it.
Okay.
Everyone wants to
Okay.
reshare.
I tagged 3 CrossFit gyms today. I
Yeah.
tagged the one that I was at, and then I was talking about Breck and Frisco, and I tagged them. And Breck came back and like liked my story or
Yes,
something.
that's
That was
awesome.
cool.
Always use, like, as much as you can, use the poll option. So like
Yeah, I
just
want
like,
to talk about
when
polls.
like cookies and cream launch, when the new try release launches,
Yep.
I'll always put like yes, I never do yes no, I always put yes yes, like yes yes yes, or sign me up, or make both options positive. And always use the polls if they're like, hey, are you interested? I've gotten more like people signed up because of polls than people actually reaching out to me. So if I'm like doing a challenge or launching a new product and I put the polls up, I'll get at least like 5 to like 30 people that say yes on them. And then all I do is reach out and say, hey girl, what resonated with you? And it
Yeah.
starts the conversation.
Okay,
And
cool.
Instagram, it increases your algorithm because you're using the options that Instagram provides.
Okay.
Or use polls and questions. Questions is really good too. You can just be like, hey, what questions do you have about network marketing? Or what questions do you have about residual income? What questions do you have about isogenics? Like any of those things that give people the open door to ask you things. And then you can reshare the question and answer it. Meaning, say you're like, what questions do you have about residual income? Well, a lot of times people won't vote. But here's what I do is I go back into it and I'll answer it from my end of 5 questions that I would want to answer. And I pretend that someone actually asked it to me. I reshare the question and I do a video explaining what that was. So it looks like someone else asked it, but it gives me the opportunity to coach or train,
Yeah,
or teach,
I love
whatever.
it.
Yeah.
That's so smart. Okay, and let's just say somebody did reply to your question.
Yeah.
When they just like type in there, then you get it as a private message?
Yep, you'll get it as a notification, so you'll just see it. If you ever want to see the responses to your polls, when you're on your actual story, like if you're looking at your story, so if you went back on it, you swipe up, and then right
Okay.
here is you can see how many people are watching your stories, and
Ooh,
it'll
I didn't know
have
that.
the answers to your polls. So when you swipe up on stories that have already been posted, that's where you see it. You'll see exactly how many people are watching. You can pay attention to every single person that's watching your stories. You'll be shocked at the people that are watching your stories versus actually liking your posts.
Where do I go to swipe up?
So like pull up your actual story from this week,
Okay, so it's
like the
talking.
photos you've already posted, swipe up.
All right, so I just did my very first poll. All right. Oh, swipe up. Oh, I
On
see.
the
Okay.
photo.
Oh, got it.
And keep in mind your stories only last for 24 hours. So if you do a poll, you have to make sure within 24 hours to go back and swipe up and take a snapshot of the people that have commented on your polls or your questions so that you can see who did it, because you won't be able to go back after that and see.
Wow, I've got like 60, 70, 80 people.
Yeah. And I guarantee 50% of them are people that you would never think are watching your stories because they haven't liked your posts before.
Right.
It's cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
Because then you can also
Okay,
see
so
consistency. A lot of times in downtime, I'll just reach out to people and be like, hey, thanks for always loving and watching and supporting my posts. Like they've never liked my post. They just watch my stories. And I'll be like, does any of it resonate with you? And it starts the conversation.
nice. That's so great. So my second to last story, are you able to go to that?
Yeah.
It's of my desk, and it's of this little bamboo tray. And I was just playing around trying to make a pole. And I wasn't quite exactly sure, like, how do I change it? I typed in poll in the search, and it gave me like the yes or no and ask a question.
Can I give you a suggestion?
Yeah.
So your tribe time is perfect, but I would do like tribe time. What do you talk about at your tribe time? Like turn into a teaching moment of like, here's the top 3 things we talked about today. And then the next one, put a poll. Are you in a place in your life that you're craving more community?
Awesome.
Yes. So that it creates people. Then you could be like, hey, you're probably not adding to your tribe time, but you could talk about then.
Oh, we are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I brought a new person yesterday, actually.
Perfect. Yeah. There.
Yeah.
Okay, Lila was asked to homecoming. He knows she loves the office. That is so cute. Oh, my 3
Wow,
daughters
that's like
gave birth to one. Lila.
That was all from yesterday.
Checking this out. Is that the beauty of where you look? 328. Love the vitamin ones. Out for my morning walk. What was your question?
My second to last one is my bamboo plants. So it's right after the 2 vacation ones. See, I'm kind of all over the place, but now I have an idea. I've just been playing around and
I love that you're showing the product and how you're using it. It's good subliminal messaging. Superfood smoothie. You said what it is. Vacation. Should I keep it? Yes, your poll. So instead of yes or no, I would put yes, totally, exclamation point, or.
So it didn't seem like I could. So
You can
okay, so that's
on it. It says yes or no, super light, but I
can change it.
Yeah, you just type on it.
Got it. Because I was like, how do people do other polls? Because
just text on it. It's just It says it yes or no to give you the example, but it's.
I like didn't even want it to say yes or no. I wanted it to say keep it or toss it.
Yeah. So you could delete this and repost it with keep it or toss it. Your toss it would go over the no part, and your keep it would go over the yes part. It lets you actually text on it.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, yours is kind of all over the place, which is fine. But once you get more familiar, start doing like a weekly calendar and being like, what do I want to teach this week? What stories do I want to share? Maybe it's just about my family, or maybe it's just about tribe time, or maybe it's just about residual income, or maybe it's just about family vacations and earning freedom, and start to tell more of a story. then the apps like Mojo and Story Art will allow your creativity to spark because they have so many cool features and music you can add and text you can add and fonts you can add and all the visuals.
Okay. Cool. Now I know how to tell who's watching my story as well, so that's awesome. I did not know that. Thank you. Cool. What else were you thinking? Gosh, you gave me so much already.
I think as far as like your content, then it's like I need to do a better job with hashtags, but just put hashtags in the comments. Don't put them on your actual content post.
I remember I learned that a couple of years ago, but then lately I've just been. So why is that again?
It just looks better.
Okay, so just put the hashtags.
Yeah. People don't really need to see the hashtags. It's more of like, yeah, just separate the two.
What's the
Tag
thing with?
tag the photos. So make sure you're tagging the actual photo with people that you want to attract to it. So like I always do like Network Marketing Pro, Isogenic, Start Your Life, Boss Babes, different podcasts, things like that. Like I'll tag the actual photo so it's getting featured in other places to draw attention.
Okay. Like I was just thinking like that photo I could tag that photo that says vacation with the kids. I can tag that and put Rocky Point.
Yeah. And put your location. So at the top of the photo, always put a location because it uses geotags. So if you have another really good prospecting tool I use a lot with Instagram is like for you in Arizona, pick a gym that you don't necessarily work out at, but you want to attract new people through. So you love CrossFit. Maybe pick a different CrossFit that you don't go to. And if you go to the geotag on Instagram, meaning in the search bar, put let's just, for example, put CrossFit Scottsdale. And then don't go to the actual, at the top, it'll say top accounts, tags, or places. Accounts means it's the actual CrossFit's own account. Tags is people that have checked in there or used it as a hashtag. And then places is the geotag. So I'll go to places and I click on like this one, for example, CrossFit Scottsbluff, or here's Urban Warfit CrossFit Scottsdale under places. And I can see everybody that's checked in there. And I will go to that, find someone that resonates with you and just reach out to them and be like, hey girl, I saw that you work at a CrossFit. I work out at this one. We should totally go work out sometime. And just start prospecting using the geotags. Because then it's like,
so I'm just trying to find that. So I go to my home screen, I go to search.
Yep.
And I remember I used to see that kind of stuff at top, but right now I've got like IGTV shop style. That's not what I normally see.
Okay, so on the very bottom, so if you're on your main feed, do you see on the very bottom the search bar?
Yeah.
Search icon? Okay. Then it shows up as your like main news feed.
Oh, there we go. Now it changed.
Your top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And
so
then
I would go to places.
Yep, you go to places and use the geotag. So that's a good prospecting tool.
So it's called a geotag. So
you could do like a local spa, you could do a local gym, you could do a local
okay, so like
event.
for example, like there's an LA Fitness really close to me and Isogenics.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So I go to places.
By
doing the geotag that basically tags that LA Fitness.
Yep, and it shows you people who've been there recently. And then you can just find people that resonate with you and just reach out and be like, hey, I would love to go work out with you sometime. Or, hey, like you totally seem like my style. We work out at the same gym. Would you ever want to go grab coffee sometime?
Got it. Okay. Cool.
So my biggest thing is like, I'll find like people that resonate with me in Denver that are like around my age. And I'll just be like, hey, love your style. Would love to learn more about your business. Are you free to grab coffee? And I constantly just have coffee meetings, and then I make sure that they're following me on Instagram. I drip everything in on Instagram. I go to coffee with them. I ask them what they do. I drip in what I do. I change the subject, and it's like a 4-step process. And by like the 5th time, they're asking me like, hey, I want to try your products.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I love it.
I definitely attract people that way with Facebook. So I get that for sure. Okay, cool. All right, that's very helpful. Okay, what about like hashtags in general? What's like the biggest nuggets that you can teach about hashtags?
It's like just who you want to attract. So like right now, who do you want to attract?
Athletes.
Athletes? Okay. So I would do hashtag athlete, hashtag Scottsdale athlete, hashtag Phoenix athlete, like where do you live?
Gilbert.
Gilbert. Hashtag Gilbert, hashtag, um, I would actually Google top hashtags for athletes and
Okay.
find what people are using. And then I would also, a really helpful one too is go to like pick 5 different Instagram accounts that have followers of the exact person you'd want to attract. So this could be like top podcasters that might attract that specific person. It could be local influencers that are top athletes in your area, anyone like that, and start to read through the comments because then you know they're active and they're engaging. Those people are actually engaging with people. Those are the type of people you want to attract. And start to read their questions and their comments and write down those power words. The questions they're using completely will give you exactly what you need to write into your own content to attract those people. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And start engaging with those people because then it's way easier because they're already naturally doing exactly what you'd want them to do.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay.
cool.
Awesome. Awesome.
And then I think those, to me, the biggest things are the content you're writing, tagging the photo, and making sure your Instagram stories are consistent, constant, and telling a story and educating.
What can you tell me about algorithms and how they work?
So Instagram loves the things that you're using that they're already putting into place, meaning audio is huge. So the more lives you can do, the more IGTV you can do, and the more Insta stories that you're actually talking into, the higher the algorithm. The second I started doing more audio, it like literally tripled my engagement. Always, always, always comment back to people. Try to comment within 30 minutes. So if you put up a post, try to be available within 30 minutes to be able to comment back to people. The more you engage on other people, the more you're going to receive engagement. They're going to give you more attention. So every day, spend time just loving on other people's, not just looking at other people's, but actually commenting, liking, and commenting on their stories, responding to their stories. If I just upload my stories, but I don't actually really engage, I've tracked this, I get about 250 people watching my stories. If I engage with other people and comment on their stories, it goes up to about 700 people. So Instagram will give you more attention the more you give attention to other people.
Okay. Got it.
Using the polls, the questions, things like that, create engagement and they give you more engagement.
And so it's not just a matter of just like hearting the pictures, it's actually commenting, like same thing on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like Facebook, like going, liking on people's photos, commenting on their photos, asking a question in your comment so then they have to ask back so that it shows you're having a conversation. That's the kind of stuff that Instagram will catch up on or catch.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay.
On photos, like if you're watching someone's Insta stories, if you swipe up on the story, it lets you do like little icons. So if you don't necessarily want to comment, it'll let you do like hearts or 100, like the 100 sign, that kind of stuff. So just engage on a lot of stories that way too.
Okay.
Add people.
Awesome. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so that's I think that's kind of very similar to Facebook,
it's so right? Facebook, it just lets you be more creative and fun. And it lets you tap into a whole different network of people you don't know. I spend more time just like engaging with people I don't know to attract it and build that audience. Look at it as build your audience, engage your audience, educate, and activate. So you're constantly building who is it that you want to attract, that you want to be your ideal customer. Look at it. Don't look at them as followers. Look at it as your audience, and you're building your audience for long term. How are you engaging? How are you educating? And then always have a call to action in your post that's going to activate them to do something, whether that's you want them to drop an emoji for their favorite comment, or you want them to tell you about something and engage, or you want them to go to your bio, click the link, and set up a discovery call. Like always have an activation way to activate them to do something to create engagement.
Okay. Got it. And all these like pretty pictures that we see, you know, like in stories and stuff, you're creating all of yours like in Canva?
All my cool stuff on my Insta stories is done in Mojo.
Okay.
So the photo,
That's
like,
the one that's 10 a month. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Got it. I have that one.
Canva just lets you like add words to it and create like the icons for your highlight reel, and then like, you know, the collages and stuff we use for like celebrating people and legacy lifestyle, but like the cool apps that have like features and cool fonts and all that kind of stuff
Right.
is all the Mojo. Oh, another good one is Hype Type. That one lets you put really cool words on photos
Okay.
and that make it a
I've
video.
heard of that.
Hype Type.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd
Got it.
say just start there,
That,
play with it,
kind
and
of
then
like word swag, right?
probably.
Type and word swag are similar. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got word swag that I use all the time. Okay. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so what do you think about this? Okay. Because I do have a pretty busy life where I'm kind of all over the place all the time. So like my story over the past, couple of days is really like just me living my life, right? It's like my dog in my office, my dead plant, me making my shake, me drinking my BCAAs, me on my walk, So what do you think about like that?
That's
And
it.
then
It's
I have
exactly
my
like
highlights.
it. So your Insta stories is behind the curtain. So it's like showing people the behind the scenes of what does an average life look like for Bethanny. So I think it's just more of like you waking up and being like, "Hey, you guys, I want to show you what an average day in my life is like today." And then walk them through that. Be like, "This is why I choose to go on a walk. This is what I think about. This is what I meditate." Like teaching people what makes Bethanny Bethanny and why is she so successful. And this is why I choose to have this shake for breakfast. And then this is why I go to Tribe Time. And I'm so grateful for these people, and walk people through that and create the
Okay.
story of like an ideal day for you. But then the
Got it.
next day might be like breaking it down deeper into just your networking events and be like, these are all the networking events. And just that's where you use Mojo and like create like a fun story of all of your events that you're a part of and all your BNIs to show like how involved you are in the community.
Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah.
then once I have a highlight, I can always go back and add more to it, right?
Yeah, so all what I just said is just what I mean by like all your Insta stories for that day.
Okay. Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
your highlight reel, yeah, click edit. Sorry, Chris is coughing. Click edit, and you can add or subtract to it whenever you want. You can constantly changing that up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Yeah, just play with it
Okay.
as you go.
So you think my handle being my name is good?
Yeah.
Because it's funny. Yesterday I had it as Rebalance Your Body, and then I changed it to Live It and Given, and then today I changed it to Bethanny Crouse.
Keep it as your name. Look at any top influencer, top success person, anybody. It's all their full name.
Well, not Jennifer Trainer.
Yeah, but it should be, because she should be who she like. If
Right.
I gave
She's
her
a
advice,
brand.
I'm like, it
Yeah.
needs to be a personal brand because
Yeah.
that will outlive it, you know?
Okay, yeah. So I saved the two brand new videos. I am planning on watching them, listening to them as I'm going back and forth to Phoenix over the next 4 days for this event I'm going to, which is like, it has a whole bunch of speakers. Brandon Bouchard is just one of them.
So, yeah, will you do like a whole recap video or training on it when you get back?
Totally, yeah. It's called Growth Summit. I'm really excited about it. A bunch of leaders here went last year and I didn't go. I just wasn't in the right space.
It sounds amazing.
So anyway, yeah, really, and they were all like, "Oh my gosh, that was the best event I've ever been to." So, and it was $297. I mean, which is
That's crazy.
for 4 days. Well, it's like 3.5 days, but still, it's from like 9 to 7, 3 days, and then the fourth day is 9 to 1. Anyhow, so yeah, I'll do some video clips and stuff there. Is it better like just to do videos there and then upload them to my story, or like take the video from the story? Does that matter?
Like if I'm at an event, I'll do little clips and I just save it. So like I'll use my story thing to take the video, but then in the top left corner, you can click the down arrow and it saves it to your camera roll. So I don't usually upload things right away because I want to be like, well, like almost take all the content, decide what's best, and then go back and repost it. So that's
what I know you could do that. Okay.
Yeah, and then at night, just go back and repost what it is you put it together in a nice story, so it's not just like too much.
Right. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Cool.
It's
Glad
easier.
to know that. I was going to ask something else about that. Oh, Right now I have my stories going to Facebook as well. Is there
Yeah.
a good thing or a bad thing
No,
about that?
good. Yeah. It'll sync it. Sometimes the ones with music won't sync, but most of them will just transfer over there.
Okay. I know that in the past they had said like, don't share whatever you post on Instagram. Don't have it automatically go to Facebook. Do you do that or no?
I think like
Like
my
just
Insta
regular
stories
posts.
transfer, the posts don't anymore, but I go do it personally. Like I'll do the same post on
Yeah,
Facebook
okay.
as well on Instagram.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
before it used to just do it automatic, and then I heard not to do that. So then I would just go do both platforms. And I think that's when I quit. That's when I was like, all right, I'm not going to do
Yeah.
that. Okay.
So my brand new training, the first whole training was exactly what we just did. The second training goes over basically like I've been teaching like mission, message, method. What's your actual mission and how are you portraying that and getting it out to the world? What's your
Okay.
message is your actual voice of delivery that makes you your authentic self.
Okay.
Method that you're taking people through, creating like an ascension. So that went into more sales strategy for people.
Okay.
To be like, if you are like a one night stand and it's one and done, you're just going to spend all this time enrolling someone, doing all this time on social media, you're going to enroll them and that's it. So what's
Okay.
the process you're taking them through? Or are you direct messaging someone and trying to like sell them right there? Or you have a method in place. So I went through 2 examples of the method I use of how do I reach out to someone online and move it offline to create the relationship, nurture the relationship, enroll them. So I went over like what's your actual method that you're creating to walk people through an ascension process. And then
I might want to watch all these when
that was
I can take notes.
yeah.
Maybe
The
what I'll
third
do is I'll do them in the
content.
car. Sorry,
Yeah,
say that.
listen to it. Oh, the third one I'm just going over like actual content, like how to write a strong power post because a lot of people
Okay.
don't know how to write content.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll listen to them in the car, but then I'll set
Yeah.
some time for next week to actually take notes, or maybe I can do it when I'm in Mexico. I have just so much going on right now.
Well, and it's stuff you're already doing, but you could just be like, okay, so what is your method that you do? Because you already have a method, you just might not have ever written it down. But then you can go over it with your leaders to be like, help them see what is the method that they're going to walk their people through. Because I'm just sick of people training, to be honest, on like, make this list, direct message people and try to get them where I'm like, no, like you can do it a little bit longer term and take people through a process. So it kind of just built that in there. We don't do that.
I agree. And
And
Lauren, if I would have realized that your brand new video was this,
yeah,
I would not have made you do this. And I'm so sorry. I think my texts to you the other night were confusing. Because I was trying to say, like, do you have something? Because I thought that was really about branding, which I was interested in watching, but I didn't realize it was.
Well, it's like your personal brand and how you're actually showing up online and how you're showing up offline.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, hopefully this had some other different things in there that the team will find
to
out.
me, I'm like, this is like consistency. I'm going to do one with another girl on Friday. So I think if people want to watch them, they can go back and get little takeaways.
Yeah. I know this will be really beneficial for Megan, who is ready to roll with Instagram.
Yeah, I think she watched the first one, gave me